The Andes, the Cascades, Indonesia's fiery islands, and the Mediterranean. What connects these distant places? They're all born from the same powerful process: ocean-continent convergent plate boundaries. Here, oceanic plates plunge beneath continents, forging deep trenches, explosive volcanic arcs, towering mountains, fore-arc basins, back-arc rifts, and vast accretionary wedges. In this journey, we'll uncover the hidden drama of these collision zones and why they're among the most dangerous and fascinating places on Earth. Welcome to the channel, where we explore the forces that shape our planet. If you love uncovering Earth's greatest geological stories, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss an episode. Every second, new ocean floor is created at mid-ocean ridges. Yet, Earth does not grow any larger. That's because elsewhere, old oceanic plates are being destroyed, sliding beneath continents in a process known as subduction. Here, the denser oceanic lithosphere bends downward into the mantle, slipping beneath the lighter continental crust. At depths of around 100 kilometers, water trapped in the slab is released, lowering the melting point of the mantle above. This triggers partial melting, creating magma that rises toward the surface. At every oceanic, continental boundary, the denser oceanic plate bends downward beneath the buoyant continental plate in a process called subduction. Offshore, a trench forms where the slab begins its descent, often among the deepest places on Earth. As the plate sinks deeper, water is released into the overlying mantle wedge. This lowers the melting point of mantle rocks, producing magma that rises to feed a chain of volcanoes known as a continental volcanic arc. The magma is typically andesitic to rhyolitic, rich in silica and gases, which makes eruptions violent and explosive. Accretionary wedges grow from sediments scraped off the downgoing plate. Fore-arc and back-arc basins form in the spaces between. Meanwhile, the compression thickens and uplifts the continental crust, forming mountain ranges, while the descending slab can generate powerful earthquakes along mega-thrust faults. While this process is the same worldwide, each region has its own unique element, shaped by trench angle, slab geometry, sediment supply, and the pace of convergence. Along the western edge of South America, the Nazca Plate plunges beneath the South American Plate, forming the Peru-Chile Trench, a dramatic scar more than 8 kilometers deep. Inland lies one of the most striking examples of continental uplift on Earth, the Andes, the world's longest continental mountain chain, stretching over 7,000 kilometers and hosting peaks like Aconcagua, towering nearly 7 kilometers above sea level. Here, the compression is so immense that it has built the High Altiplano Plateau, one of the world's largest elevated plateaus outside Tibet. Above the subducting slab rises the Andean volcanic belt, a fiery chain of stratovolcanoes that includes Cotopaxi, Ojos del Salado, El Misti, and Villarrica, volcanoes fed by water-rich magma rising from the mantle. But the Andes also reveal an unusual twist: flat slab subduction. Due to this, in certain stretches the Nazca Plate levels out and travels nearly horizontally for hundreds of kilometers beneath the continent. This shuts down volcanism above, but instead uplifts broad swaths of crust, thickening the mountains. Fore-arc basins such as the Secura Basin fill with sediments, while along the seaward edge, accretionary wedges pile up scraped material from the ocean floor. The Andes are also home to devastating mega-thrust earthquakes, such as the 1960 Valdivia quake in Chile, the largest ever recorded at magnitude 9.5. The convergence of trench, accretionary wedge, fore-arc basin, volcanic arc, high plateau, and massive seismicity makes the Andes a textbook example of an oceanic, continental subduction system at full scale. Farther north, along the Pacific Northwest, lies one of Earth's most quietly menacing convergent zones, the Cascadia subduction zone. Here, the small Juan de Fuca plate dives beneath the vast North American plate. Unlike the deep, dramatic trenches of other subduction zones, Cascadia's trench is partly buried beneath thick river sediments carried from the continent, hiding much of the danger from sight. But the threat remains immense. This megathrust fault is fully capable of unleashing earthquakes of magnitude 9 or greater, as it last did in the year 1700, when a colossal rupture sent tsunamis racing across the Pacific and striking the shores of Japan. Inland, the subduction fuels the Cascade Volcanic Arc, a chain of steep stratovolcanoes that dominate the skyline of the Pacific Northwest. Mountains such as Rainier, Hood, and Shasta stand as towering reminders of the volatile andesitic magma rising from the descending slab. Among them, Mount St. Helens revealed the true explosive power of Cascadia in 1980, when its catastrophic eruption blew away its summit, devastated surrounding forests, and coated much of the region in volcanic ash. Between the trench and the arc lies the fore-arc region, where convergence has created fertile lowlands such as the Puget Sound Basin and the Willamette Valley. These landscapes, rich with sediments, support thriving human communities even as they rest upon unstable ground. Beyond the volcanic arc, the back arc tells a different story. Unlike the Andes, which are compressed, Cascadia's interior is stretched apart. This back arc extension gives rise to the Basin and Range Province, a vast terrain of tilted fault block mountains and sunken valleys spreading across the American West. Cascadia is thus a paradox, a landscape of serene snow-capped peaks, fertile valleys, and quiet coastlines, yet beneath it lurks a sleeping giant. Unlike the towering Andes, Cascadia's arc is narrower, shaped by the subduction of a small oceanic plate and the accumulation of thick coastal sediments. A true testament to the destructive potential of oceanic, continental convergence. In Southeast Asia, the Indo-Australian plate sinks beneath the Eurasian plate, forming the Sunda Trench. This long, curving trench runs close to the coasts of Sumatra and Java, and it is one of the most earthquake-prone places on the planet. Just inland, the Sunda Arc rises, a chain of dramatic volcanoes that have shaped both landscapes and history. Among them are Krakatoa, famous for its 1883 eruption that sent shockwaves around the world. Tambora, whose colossal 1815 eruption caused the year without a summer by dimming sunlight worldwide. Farther north lies the enormous Toba caldera, left behind by a supervolcano eruption 74,000 years ago that nearly changed Earth's climate forever. Today, it holds Lake Toba. Unlike the Andes or the Cascades, subduction here is more complicated. Off Sumatra, the plate boundary is oblique, meaning the plates collide at an angle. This not only drives subduction, but also creates powerful strike-slip faults, such as the Great Sumatran Fault, which cuts across the island. Offshore, small fore-arc islands have been pushed up from the seafloor, while the trench itself was the site of the catastrophic 2004 earthquake and tsunami that killed over 200,000 people around the Indian Ocean. Behind the volcanic arc, the crust is also tearing apart. In the Banda Sea, The subducting plate is breaking and spreading, opening small back-arc ocean basins. The Sunda arc is not uniform. Java experiences direct subduction, while Sumatra has oblique subduction. This segmentation changes the style of earthquakes and volcanism. Combined with its active back-arc basin, the Sunda arc is perhaps the most geologically complex O-sea convergence zone on Earth. In the Mediterranean, the African plate dives beneath the Eurasian plate along the Hellenic Arc. The subduction here looks very different from places like the Andes or Cascades, because this entire region is buried under a sea of sediment. The trench itself, known as the Hellenic Trench, is partly hidden beneath thick deposits that conceal its sharp outline. As the plate sinks, enormous amounts of sediment are scraped off and piled up into the Mediterranean Ridge, one of the largest accretionary prisms in the world. This vast wedge of compressed mud and sand is a defining feature of the region. Above the trench, the Hellenic volcanic arc rises. Here we find fiery islands like Santorini, whose massive Bronze Age eruption reshaped landscapes and may have inspired the Atlantis legend. Between the trench and the arc lie fore-arc basins, faulted depressions filled with sediments, adding to the complex, layered geology. Behind the arc, the Aegean basin stretches apart. This back-arc spreading is driven by slab rollback, where the sinking African plate pulls backward and tears the crust open. This rollback also rotates microplates, creating curved arcs rather than straight volcanic belts. Unlike the Andes or Cascades, the Mediterranean is dominated by sediment. Thick piles obscure the trench and create a wide, chaotic zone. Add in rotating microplates, strike-slip faults, and active back-arc spreading, and this region becomes a puzzle of tectonics, part subduction, part collision. From the towering Andes to the complex Mediterranean, oceanic, continental convergence shapes Earth in strikingly different ways. The Andes rise steep and vast, built by powerful subduction. The Cascades hide a silent but deadly mega-thrust beneath fertile valleys. The Sunda arc is complex and explosive, with segmented faults and spreading seas. The Mediterranean is chaotic and sediment-rich, where microplates, arcs, and basins collide. Together, these regions reveal one truth. While the process of subduction is the same, the landscapes it creates are as diverse as the planet itself. Oceanic, continental convergent boundaries are more than plate margins. They are engines of creation and destruction, where continents grow, oceans vanish, and some of Earth's greatest natural hazards are born. If you enjoyed this deep dive into subduction zones, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more Earth science explorations, and share your thoughts below. Which of these regions do you think tells the most dramatic tectonic story?